I like to thank South Africa, along with Colombia and Bangladesh, for backing up South Africa on their criminal case against Israel in the International Criminal Court.
We are Africa! Hashtag free the Palestine. They are one of us. Remember, they are Africans and we are one nation. We are one family. The family of Mama Africa. Hamada! Maibuye!
Today I was asked, do I condemn Hamas? You want to know what my reply was? Do I condemn my African ancestors for trying to free occupied slaves? The person just looked at me and I said, yeah, exactly.
See, I'm older than Israel as a nation. I'm 81, but we got to stop this government from aiding and abetting Israel. We ain't talking about morality. See, I got a different kind of morality than a whole lot of people. My morality supports slave rebellion. My morality says that you can't tell me as an oppressed person how to revolt. If I come to cut your goddamn head off, that's on you. Because you did it to me. Okay, so when I come at you, I don't hear no shit about I'm a terrorist. Because you've been terrorizing me all my goddamn life. And so don't start talking that bullshit now. I am never going to condemn the oppressed for rising up against the oppressors. Because whatever they do, the oppressor earned it. He earned it. You can't torture and persecute people for 100 years. And then when they rise up, you're going to start talking about terror. We want Palestine to win. We want Palestine to win. So we ain't neutral in this shit. So from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Because the people...
Gaza, Ramallah, and many parts of Palestine. And we have also appreciated the fact that you have raised the South African flag very high. In particular, remembering our founding president, Nelson Mandela.
Мне трудно давать какие-то оценки. Это земля, на которой живут палестинцы. Это их земля, исторически их земля. Более того, здесь предполагалось создать независимое палестинское государство. На мой взгляд, это не то, что может вести к миру.
Seems to me that Germany has forgotten its history with genocide because they were the first country in the 20th century to commit genocide in the African country of Namibia.
Now, Bangladesh and Colombia have now joined South Africa in claiming that Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Namibia has also criticized Germany for supporting Israel in the genocide case at the International Court of Justice brought by South Africa. In its statement on X, Namibia accused its former colonial ruler, Germany, of committing the first genocide of the 20th century between 1904 and 1908. More than 70,000 indigenous Herero and Nama people were killed in the massacre. Namibia's president says Germany is ignoring the lessons of its past atrocities. He accused Berlin of supporting a genocide in Gaza while disregarding Israel's killing of Palestinians.
In Namibia, for example, the number of Chinese people living here in the meantime is 4 times as much as, for example, the German community. And insofar, it's not precisely the same what takes place all over the world. There are differences. And what I'm...
Mr. Speaker, yeah. What is your problem with that? Why does it become your problem? it looks like it's a more European problem than our problem.
Yeah.
You are so sorry for us. I don't see... Chinese will never come and play around here. As Germans not allowed to do that. Which Germans are doing, by the way. You talk about Chinese. We allow Germans to come offer visas here. Red carpet. Our people are harassed in Germany. Even diplomatic passport holders in Germany. And you come in here, Germans come in here as they want. So why Chinese talk about Germans? how you are treating us there. Chinese don't treat us like that. Diplomatic passport, we will handle our own country. Don't be sorry for us.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Every time Westerner comes, it's about Chinese.
Why is there a double standard when a white person goes to help Ukraine versus a brown person when they help Palestine?
That is a very good question, and unfortunately it's something that most white people don't want to have to face. What it boils down to is white settler colonialism, which has been happening all over the world for far too long. White people have gone to Africa, to Asia, to America, North America and Australia, and they stole the land from the original people, from the native people who should have been living there. And that's why they feel that it's very easy for them to support Israel, which is a white settler colonialist project. Israelis are not Middle Eastern people. The majority of them are Zionists from Europe and America, lots and lots from America. And that is the big difference, because we have been conditioned in the West to think it's okay for white people to do it. And there's a complete double standard that no other person can do what we've already done. So in the case of Ukraine, where 10,000 people have been killed in 2 years, as opposed to in Gaza, 23,000 people being killed in just 2 months, Ukraine hurt people because they see them as being like us. They're white, they're like us. But Palestinians are people just the same. And it isn't true, the stories that I heard when I lived there, that the Israelis would tell people, oh, you have to be careful, Palestinians have got tails. You know, all of these kind of historical things to try and dehumanize people and put people down. It's time it stopped. The world is waking up.
With this deep fear towards Palestinians, at the end of the day, they are the same as African Americans. We're not looking for a race war. Tim Pool, who seems to talk about that in all his videos. We are people that essentially just want peace. We've been through enough, and we want to be able to operate and thrive underneath equitable conditions, not being exploited or being controlled or puppeteered by a certain group in order for certain people to stay in power within the political sphere of America, which I'm sure happens to all minority groups or people that have been colonizing other parts of the world.
I was brought up in, quote, Bedford-Stuyvesant in my time. But I would like to say what scares us is I think we hear violence.
May I respond? Yeah. May I respond, please? My work is directly to black people. I spend 99% of my time dealing with us to help us reform our minds and spirit that we may do for ourselves. However, when you live in a society like this, and we know that in order to effect a solution to a problem between black and white, then there's going to have to be some meaningful dialogue between black and white in order to effect a solution. The young lady said she's afraid of violence. And isn't it sad that we who have been the victims of so much violence, now whites fear violence from us? We do not have a history of killing white people. White people have a history of killing us. See? And what you fear, and it's a deep guilt thing, that white folks suffer, you are afraid that if we ever come to power, we will do to you and your fathers what you and your people have done to us. And I think you are judging us by the state of your own mind, and that is not necessarily the mind of black people.
This is the end of the colonial guard. Morally sound, Palestinians want peace. They just want to be with their family and go back to their own homes, the homes that they've owned. What's happening at the International Criminal Court with Germany backing up Israel is the fact that they're backing up Germanic Khazars. That's why. It's what I just revealed in my last video, which is quite interesting because you guys are the same people. It's the reason why Germany's backing you up.
The white man is enacting a story all over the world. We left our homes and flooded the world. We smothered culture. We smothered knowledge. We erased history and rewrote it our way. Myself, my grandfather is 100% Ashkenazi Jewish. Claiming to be Jewish, Ashkenazi Jewish is just a conspiracy. White men claiming to be of tribes of Israel when I'm Germanic. You know, I have no ties to Israel, no ties to Judaism. You know, except loosely written history that's been whitewashed over for centuries. And, you know,
from the Renaissance.
Oh yeah, right. You wipe everything clean. It's funny how exactly the Renaissance. It's this rebirth, but it's white rebirth. I think at the same exact time the Renaissance is happening, Columbus is sailing to America and committing genocide.
So there's a correlation there. So if you actually want to create your own state, why don't you take it out on the country that committed a Holocaust? Feel free to annex part of Germany, but give the Palestinians back their land.
This vengeance is not directed towards the German persecutors and their collaborators in Europe, but towards Palestinian colonized subjects who are Nazified.
The fact that Palestinians had nothing to do with the Holocaust and that they are the ones currently being exterminated seems to be irrelevant.
I would personally like to also thank the actors from South Africa, from the UK, all over the world, Susan Sarandon, Melissa Barrera, and those that have taken the time to stand up for the plight of Palestinian people. Take a listen here.
It is important to place the acts of genocide in the broader context of Israel's conduct towards Palestinians during its 75-year-long apartheid.
It's Israel for violations of the Genocide Convention.
It is estimated that it will take years to recover the remains of people from beneath the rubble, and that the costly technical process will not result in the identification of each body.
Support the advancement of humanity and not steal its vitality or its joy. The end is near for colonizers, and I think they know that. That's why they're freaking out over social media versus traditional media. But if your heart feels broken for the Palestinian people, that's a good sign that your morality and your humanity is still in check. It means you're a well-adjusted human being to feel and resonate with the pain of others. To know that that could be you. You don't have to be Palestinian, you don't need to be Muslim in order to resonate and identify with people suffering and the pain that they're going through, and that there is no call for this type of barbaric action. Right now, as I'm speaking, there's some Palestinian child that is dying. As I'm done with this video, there'll be some Palestinian family, man, woman, and child, no separation of just women and children, but a whole family, man included, being killed. We need to make sure that we're not being degenerates and only speaking only of women and children, because these women and children have fathers. We know this is a foreign concept in Western countries, but there's complete families that are there for each other. And we gotta identify and respect all genders that are involved in this, because it took a mom and dad for that one innocent child to be brought to this earth, and he needs his parents for his own protection or her own protection. So bear that in mind, guys.